In this activity, we'll be creating a program that utilizes optional data. Once you're ready, load up Visual Studio Code and we'll get started. Once Visual Studio Code is loaded, go to your Activities directory and double-click on Activity 16. Once the activity file loads, review the topic and program requirements. Attempt to implement a solution on your own with the video paused. Once completed, resume the video and I will demonstrate my implementation as well as provide insights to the activity topic. Okay, let's get started. This activity topic is on the option data type. The requirements are to print out the details of a student's locker assignment, and that lockers use numbers and are optional for students. Our notes indicate that we need to use a struct containing the student's name and locker assignment, and the locker assignment should use an option containing an I32 integer. I'll start by copying some notes into the program area. We need to use a struct containing the student's name and locker assignment. Use the struct keyword to create a new structure. I'm just going to call it student, and I'll put their name as a string and their locker as an option I32. So since locker assignments are optional for students, it makes sense to use the option keyword because maybe they don't have a locker at all. And in that case, we don't need to know the locker number. Next, I'm going to create a student and then print out the student's information. I'll just call the student Mary. I'll put her name as a string. Remember to use .toOwns to create an owned string, since by default, strings are slices. And Mary's locker number will be number 3. I will then print out Mary's information. So for her name, I'll just do a print line statement. And I'll say student, and then we'll have Mary.name. And then we'll match on her locker number. So we'll match on Mary.locker. And if she has a locker number, we will call it num, and we'll print out locker number. That would be num. And if she does not have a locker number, we will print out no locker assigned. Before running this program, let's get a walkthrough. We're creating a data structure named student. The student consists of a name and a locker. The name is an owned string, which represents the name of the student, and the locker is an optional I32 integer. Not all students have lockers, so option is appropriate in this case. If every student was required to have a locker, then we can just do this as an integer. But since they're optional, option is a good choice. In our main function, we're creating a new student and assigning the student to the variable Mary. This student's name is Mary. We use .toOwn to create owned data for the string slice. Remember that strings by default are slices and borrowed when you create them using double quotes. The locker number is being assigned to locker number 3. And then we use the sum variant of the option to do so. We then print out the student's name. In this case, we get it with the .name field within the student structure. We're getting Mary's name, so this variable, and this name then is populated in the token. Finally, we match on this student's locker number. If this student has a locker number, if there's some data there, we assign it the variable num, and then print out the locker number is num. If there is no locker number, no data, then we just print out no locker assigned. Since we created a student that has some locker data, when we run the program, we'll get student and it'll be Mary. And this branch will be executed since we have some data here, and it will also print out the locker number assigned. Let's run it and see what happens. To run the program, go to Terminal, New Terminal. We're on Activity 16, so type in cargo run-q-bin A16. As we can see, the student's name is printed out. Here we have Mary, and her locker number is 3, just as indicated in the code. If we want to see what happens if we set the locker to no locker assigned, if we take a look at the code, it should print out no locker assigned. So we'll rerun the program to verify that's the case. As we can see, student is Mary and no locker has been assigned. This concludes the activity on option. I'll see you in the next presentation.